Hey everybody. We're going to be doing a worksheet on 3.1 dilations today. This is going to be pretty quick. I'm just going to go over a couple problems. So try them out with me and then you can try the rest on your own. So if you guys remember, basically the idea with a dilation is that they will give you a number called the scale factor, and we just need to multiply all of our coordinates by whatever that number is, and we'll get our dilation. Yeah, I'm going to skip numbers 1 and 2, and I want to take a look at number 3, just because it's giving us, our dilation as our fraction. Okay, so yeah, 5/2. First thing, if you're, given a fraction, turn it into a decimal. Okay, and that's just typing this math into a calculator. 5 divided by 2 is going to give me 2.5. Okay, so that's actually the number that I'm going to be multiplying by. Okay, and then from here, first step is getting the coordinates of these points here. So let's start with n. N's at -1, 0. M is at -2, 2. L is at -1, 2, and K is at +2, -2. All right. If you still struggle with finding the coordinates of points, please talk to me. I can really kind of like lay it out for you and it'll make a lot more sense. All right. So from here, we're just multiplying. Some of these you might want to use your calculator, others you might not need to. So I like to put, what I'm multiplying by above it. So times 2.5. So when I get n prime, okay, we'll probably do this in our head. -1 times that is -2.5. 0 times anything is 0. Okay, getting m prime. -2 times 2.5. I know that's going to give me a -5. 2 times that gives me +5. L prime, let's see, -1, again, -2.5. And 2 times that gives me a 5. K prime, looks like I'm going to get a 5, -5. Okay, so I went through that very quickly. All right, I'm able to do some of this in my head. I highly recommend use a calculator when in doubt. All right, and then after you plot your points, if something looks weird, go back and maybe see what happened. Okay, so -2.50. That means we're going to -2.5 on the x, 0 on the y. So there's my new n. -5, +5. There's my new m. -2.5 on the x, +5 on the y is L. And the new k, +5, -5. All right, maybe something I should have pointed out at the beginning, because our scale factor is a number greater than 1, we should have expected to get an enlargement. If it was a number less than 1, we'd get a reduction, right? So yes, obviously this thing is giving us an enlargement here. All right, and we can see that it is the exact same shape as the original. I can tell that I did this correctly just by looking at it. Okay, that's more or less the idea. When you guys get to the back side, these problems, the only difference is that they are actually giving you the original coordinates. So these are actually maybe easier than the front side, but I do want you to plot the original coordinates and then as well as, the dilation. So show both things on these. Okay, but I'm gonna leave those to you because it's just more of the same. All right. The only other thing I want to look at is just one of these problems asking us to, describe or write the rule to describe the transformation. This is just asking what is the scale factor? All right. What's going on here? All right. Big thing. Make sure you recognize what is your original or pre-image and what is your image. All right. I can tell this is the image because it has all of these little prime symbols. Look for that. Okay. Because when we go to, check these points, we start with an original and compare to its image. All right. But if you guys remember, the good news is we can pick just one pair of points. All right. So what I'm going to pick is H. Okay. I'm going to do H and H prime. So I'm just going to do that down here. So H is at -1, -1. And H prime is at -2.5, down 2.5. Okay. So be careful with those, those ones that don't land right on the grid. But we're going to -2.5 negative 2.5. This h was wrong, huh? This should be at a negative 1, negative 1. There we go. Okay, so I actually picked a really good coordinate. I can tell just by looking at this that it's being the negative 1 is being multiplied by a 2.5 to turn into a negative 2.5. Okay, and that's going to be my scale factor. That's my answer. But if I didn't have numbers that were so easy to tell, remember there's a little, I guess, trick. I don't know if a trick is the right word, but there's a little thing we can do where all we need to do is take the one of the image points, so the negative 2.5, and divide it by one of the, its corresponding original point, which would be a negative 1. All right. Negative 2.5 divided by negative 1. If you typed it into a calculator or if you did it in your head, you would get that it is 2.5. So I guess I'll put it, I'm going to put it to the right. Let me just move this. Okay, so yeah, this is giving me 2.5, and that is my scale factor. All right, so unnecessary to do on this problem. All right, but that is the surefire way. Take an image and divide it by its original, and that will give you the scale factor always. All right, and if you could just point out scale factor 2.5, like that right there is what I'm looking for. Okay, so yeah, this hopefully is going to be a pretty quick worksheet, but please, if you have any trouble with any part of this, call me over. I can help you out. All right, thank you.